Hi, I want to talk today about specifically the focus will be on my Reiki initiation, my first one, and how that came about. But I also wanted to just mention some powerful spiritual books I've read. It's I think three, yeah, yeah, three books that have really helped open my eyes. Starting last year, maybe a year ago. And then also, well, I just wanted to also say, go ahead and mention. So I had an amazing, I've had several readings by Elise from Wild Moon Woman, I have to say. And the spiritual readings she has done for me have been amazing and very supportive and have really helped me not just get a grasp on my path, but really good advice for me to mentally ground myself through the process, especially for spiritual matters, which can be kind of overwhelming and you're not really sure about. She really helped put a light on my path for me to help guide me. So let me just say that. And then also Avalon from Avalon's Spiritual Odyssey, she's done one reading for me and it was amazing. It was her intuitive reading, or ignite your intuition. That one was very profound as well. So both Elise and Avalon have been amazing for those spiritual questions to help guide me. And I both of those readings have been done this year. But yeah, Elise from All Woman, she's my girl. She's I'm a tarot reader, but I love and I recommend this for other tarot readers. Get tarot readings from other people. It helps. It's one of the things I like doing it anyway. Especially for questions that I'm too emotionally tied to. That's what other tarot readers are for. But it just help. I don't know. It just is part of growing and developing the experience. And especially today I'm talking about Reiki. I would be going to someone to do Reiki to learn more about Reiki, going through the experience of it and not just trying to read a book and trying to do it on myself. That's not going to be the only thing I'm going to be doing. So my tarot reading isn't just depending on me doing all my tarot readings. I mean, I do obviously a lot of tarot readings for myself, but having other people, there's an amazing, the tarot readers in this community are amazing, and I learned so much about myself through their insights, things that I might not be able to see. They see, and the messages I get from Elise is so good. I just had to say that. So with that said, let's start. Let me tell you. Well, I'll wait for my. Let me just say. Here's two books I read last year that were huge for this one. This is The Game of Life by Florence. What's her name? Florence Scovel Shinn. My mom gave me this book to read, and I was like, what? I'll read it when I get to it. I read it, and it's just a quick little book, but it will change your whole perspective on life and how you go after goals and dreams, and it just injects this massive amount of spiritual perspective into our lives on a daily basis, into our mundane world, and how spiritual all aspects of our lives are. And also, I was going to say, this has been huge for awakening my third eye. I can't tell you how, other than really projecting and envisioning. I guess the only thing I can say is envisioning what I'm wanting out of life and really getting down to the nub of why I want things, the things I want, why I want them, goals I have for myself. I would love a beautiful home of my own one day, and a garden, and this dream home. I have this insatiable desire for this dream home. And just to throw out an example for you guys. And this book just really helped me learn patience, but still envisioning my goal, envisioning that house that I'm wanting to grow roots, put roots down into. But among other things, this is The Game of Life, highly recommend. And then I got this. I was getting astrology books. So Linda Goodman, she's passed away now, but she has sun signs and love signs, which I've kind of like glanced at. I haven't purchased or read those. And I was actually going to buy one of her books. And then when I went to the bookstore, like a used bookstore here, they had this one. I think they had all of her books, but they had this one. And even though I was trying to get the other two books, I saw this. I was like, I'm going to take this one home. And I have mentioned this before in one of my other videos. This book, I don't agree with every single thing in this book, but this book, all I can say is there are spiritual truths in this book that helped open my eyes to a whole new world. I feel like I'm like the last one on this boat I'm like, oh my gosh, these are things I have always like pondered myself, like my soul has thought about, and like reading this, I'm like, this is truth. I like this is sitting, these aren't just like woo-woo theories or things of that nature. And again, I don't agree with every single thing, like not charging for spiritual good or spiritual services. You're not supposed to charge. I'm not for that. So, obviously I'm not for that. I'm like, if you're doing a job, I don't care what your job is. If you're bringing value to the world, you deserve to get value in return for that. But the astrological, the lexigrams, the numerology in this are outstanding. It's very eye-opening. It made me see the world in a new way, but it almost like I felt like I was remembering things that I forgot about too. It was just like, yeah, that's right. Like I knew that, but I forgot, kind of thing. But anyway, so this one, Star Signs by Linda Goodman, and then I'm still working on this one. This one is like the initiation book. I would not recommend this one like first off the bat. If you already have been like diving into like deep spiritual matters, and if you're ready for like the bigger thing, like this book like left me wanting more. Like they have in the back of this book, she's got like a book list, and I've read like I took out a chunk of the books in this that she's like, continued reading, if you're interested, read these as well. And so I was devouring her book list, and I just wanted more. I'm like, I want to go deeper. I need something more. And then this one was recommended to me by an astrologer who I dearly love and respect. And she was just like, she recommended this book to me because she's like, I can tell you're on a path of awakening, and this is what I recommend for you. So, and this book is I'm not even finished with it yet. I mentioned in my like April videos, it made me cry hard twice. And like cried like a baby, and it was just like this, I don't know, this outpouring of grief that was like something I had been holding on to, and I don't even know if like, it wasn't like I thought of anything specifically. It was just like something that I needed to cry over, but I haven't cried anymore. It's like in the first part of it, I cried twice, and now I'm into the part where the reason I'm reading this book is about her past life in ancient Egypt. And the beginning part is like her childhood and adolescence and growing up and like awakening into like access to her past lives basically, and her spiritual awakening. So I'm finally now at the Egyptian part, but this whole book is so good. It's so deep. Like when I read it, I can only read like one chapter because I'm like, whoa, I need to sit with this chapter for a bit. So it's taking me a bit longer now to read it. But anyway, those 3 books, massively eye-opening into like the way the universe works. I'm not saying I'm an expert. I'm just saying it totally changed how I saw things. Like I was like, oh wow, my consciousness has just changed. There's no going back after reading those. So with that said, my Reiki initiation, because I'm a tarot reader, I've been reading these spiritual books among others, but those are like the 3 like, like wow. I was like, where do I start? So okay, so I have a spiritual counselor that I went to, that I go to, and I had not seen her in a while, so I went to go see her last week, 2 weeks ago, and we were talking about, I was there for like just spiritual questions in general, and then we started talking about Reiki. I have done like kinesiology, which I highly recommend for anyone out there. Kinesiology is amazing energy healing, but that's like the only one I have actually like implemented into my life. Like ideally like once a month it would be great for a checkup, but it's like something super easy, super quick and cheap. Like it's so affordable. Well, let's say cheap. It's super affordable. Like my kinesiologist, like if I go in and I don't need, it's like he syncs me to we do a muscle testing, and then he syncs me to a flower essence, which literally takes like 10 minutes, if even. and then I go out the door with my flower essence. And like sometimes my body has not needed a flower essence at all, in which case he doesn't charge me. So it's like super easy base layer energy healing therapy. I highly recommend. And so that's the only one I've actually been doing on the regular. Reiki has been in the back of my mind. You know, like I do yoga. I love yoga. I do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, which, I mean, it's not really energy healing, but it's very therapeutic for me. And you know, like mentally, physically, spiritually. I mean, it is. It's you know, yoga and jiu-jitsu are like my fire, my earth practice, or my grounding. Yoga's grounding for me, and then jiu-jitsu is my fire practice, but for me. But I was going to say, so Reiki had been in the back of my mind to like eventually try out, go to a Reiki master and experience it and see what it is for, what it does for me. But so my spiritual counselor I go to locally, she is a Reiki master, and she started talking about Reiki to me, and just like somehow got brought up. But I wasn't there for Reiki. I didn't know really anything about Reiki, and she did this motion with her hands, and it made me like remember like the past couple of months. This is like something I was doing on my own. I just thought I was kind of crazy and just playing with the idea of it. But so basically, like, I have this amazing playlist of really hardcore, I call it fire music. It's like movie trailer music. It's got like really hard beats. It's kind of like, you know, like movie soundtracks like Batman Begins, and like all this like hardcore trance electronic techno music that I really like, and it gives me tingles, you know, like that. It's called frisson, when it gives you like that whoosh of like goosebumps and tingles up your whole body. And I was experimenting with it because I have to do a lot of driving for my muggle job, and also I use music as well. I was going to say, because I'm so connected to music, like many are. I'm not saying like I'm the only one who's connected. I use music a lot for, I participate in National Novel Writing Month in November every year. I've been doing it for like 6 years now, where I write it's a nonprofit. It's purely just for the creative outlet of writing, and everyone has a goal of writing 50,000 words or more in the month of November. So every month in November I've always participated, because it gives me an outlet to, you know, to write. And I write fiction when I do this, and it's so good for me. It's like just something for fun. I'm not a professional writer. It just was something for a good creative outlet for me. And so every year I've done it, I've always had a really good playlist for inspiration, especially when the muse starts to run dry, because it is so many words you're writing, and I'm trying to like hit this big, you know, word goal. And I've actually only beaten it twice, you know, or made my word count twice in that time frame. But anyway, so I've gotten really good in 6 years. I can hear a song, and some songs have amazing, I can see entire scenes play out, like conflicts and, you know, I don't know, just passionate scenes or whatever, and emotional scenes. And then some songs are so complex to me, I can see a whole story. I can imagine an entire story to a song just based on one song. So that's like how powerful music is to me. I can see like stories play out in my mind. And so I've been listening to this music that's like from, you know, movie soundtracks and techno, and it was giving me frisson. It was just giving me this huge emotional response to me, and it was starting in my legs initially, like I'd get goosebumps in my legs, and then over time my entire body, it would just go up my back and over my head, and I get these tingles. I mean, and frisson is a biological response. You know, there's a chemical, I forgot which chemical is being released that gives you that reaction of like probably adrenaline too. But I was getting this emotional reaction to these songs as I was driving. And then I started playing around with the idea. I was like kind of like testing it. I'm like, why am I vibrating to this song? Or why is this song pulling up this emotion and this physical response? And slowly over time, my hands, that same sensation would go all, you know, up my legs, over my head, up, you know, up my back, over my head, and into my hands. And my hands would start to tingle. And at this point in this process, over time, I started doing, like, opening up my hand and cupping it, and I started, because my hand was tingling so much, I started imagining a ball of energy in my hands. And this is me not knowing anything about Reiki, not knowing, I mean, I've seen movies, like, I'm thinking, like Mortal Kombat, right? Where they have superpowers. Well, I started just imagining this ball and playing with it, and I started feeling like my hands were tingling. My hands would start warming up. And I was playing with this ball of energy, and I couldn't see it. I could just feel it, and I could play with it and make it bigger and grow. And the more emotional a song hit me, the bigger the emotional response, the more powerful the ball was. And every time I was finished playing with this imaginary ball, I was like, what do I do with this ball? And I would push it back into me and like rub it back, I'd push it back into my solar plexus and then like rub it back into my aura. I was like, I had no idea what I was doing. No idea. And so I was talking to my spiritual counselor about my experience, and she was like, oh, that is Reiki. You have been initiated into Reiki. And I was just like, whoa, what? Like, what, that's Reiki? Like this ball of energy, and my hands would warm up, and I thought it was crazy for a moment, but then I was like, well, I'm feeling this thing, and I'm like, and kind of play with it. So anyway, I was just going to say, I was like, I have been asking for more for my spiritual journey, like asking my guides, asking my angels, asking the universe, asking the creator for, like, I was like, I know there's more I'm capable of doing, and then like this spiritual gift has come to me. And it's like, anyone can do Reiki. I was like, I totally believe that, but I absolutely believe that. And in my case, I was like, okay, I've been asking for something to come, not just like for my tarot reading, not just for like water divination is another thing I've been practicing as well, but Reiki as well. Like Reiki is on my list now too. So I was like, I'm so grateful I happened to be talking to a Reiki master when I was like, this came into my mind. I was like, oh yeah, I've been playing with the ball of energy. I'm like, and it's like, it's for healing. And so being able to talk to her, she was able to give me some great points on like where to go from there, and like working on, playing with, not playing, well, playing with it, but experimenting with myself and experimenting with other willing participants, and figuring out how to like feel the chakras and feel that energy and use it for healing is the whole purpose of it. Not just healing myself, but like I absolutely was like, okay, I'm taking on this, not just an experiment, but and also to study it, but also to like develop this gift so I can use it for others and not just myself. So I just wanted to say, anyone out there who is wanting to do bring up spiritual gifts, you don't like allow those to come to you, and they might come to you in weird and unexpected ways. Because I told her how I was like, this Reiki was coming to me like listening to this like crazy music, and she's like, it doesn't matter, it's like that's what you were vibrating towards, or it was resonating with you. So it doesn't matter if it was electronic trance music that was bringing this up for you. It's like, now it's like, okay, it's my responsibility now to learn it and develop it and get to know it, and I guess get to know myself through it as well. And it's like, if I can use it to heal myself so I can heal others. So anyway, that has been my spiritual journey up to this point, and I'm still kind of like blown away by it and like amazed and not sure. I was like, what in the world? This is so crazy. So I know like Reiki's been around forever, and I know there's like lots of Reiki practitioners, but I was like, wow, I was like, I actually could feel like that ball of energy. This ball of energy, it's actually like tangible. I was like, and again, I can't see it, but I feel it. And it's like, it can warm up your hands. It gets very powerful. Almost like, personally for me, if anyone is not familiar, like it can feel like, to me, magnets. Like it can get so powerful, it's like magnets repelling each other. So I just was going to share my initial experience with Reiki and the books, and in case if it helps anybody else, if you're wanting to develop your spiritual gifts in any capacity and have them come to you. Also, I was going to say, also dreams. I had a dream many months ago. No, not quite a year ago. Several months ago, that I did not know what it meant until I realized it was connected to Reiki. I had no idea. It was, I had a very powerful dream, and it didn't, in the dream it made sense to me, but I could not, like, when I woke up, I was like, what does that dream mean? I don't even know, what does that mean? And then I was like, and I happened to I was able to tell my spiritual counselor, I was like talking to her about the dream, and she said that's part of Reiki. That was part of Reiki. So I had this dream before this. Oh my gosh, I'm getting tingles talking about it. Okay, it's giving me goosebumps. Okay, this is so powerful. But yeah, I was just gonna say, so you might like dreams. I had a dream that spoke to me about this gift, and gave me, like, the dream itself gave me pointers for the gift. I just didn't know what the gift was, or was like how to apply the dream. I was like, it didn't make sense at the time, but now it makes complete sense, like several months later. So for people, yeah, again, if you're trying to develop spiritual gifts, or if you're wanting spiritual gifts to show up for you, having that patience, and I have to tell myself to be patient every day as well, and to have, to go slow with it. Don't be in a rush, because like it does like require responsibility and consciousness and awareness with it, and maturity as you develop it, because these are very powerful. And but anyway, I just wanted to share how that came to me, and yeah, it's very personal, but I was like, I just wanted to share because I never heard anyone else's stories, because I never knew to even like look, and I just had to tell you guys. So I was like, I'm a tarot reader and learning water divination and learning Reiki as well. So anyway, I hope you guys have a great weekend, and thank you for letting me share. And if you have any similar experiences, I would love to hear them.